556 days ago. That didn't stop San Francisco from trading up to draft Trey Lance, number 3 overall, putting Jimmy G's future with the team in question. At best, to his credit, Garoppolo has been a pro about it and had this to say about possibly leaving the 49ers in the near future. Take a listen. It crossed my mind at one point, but I didn't want to do that. I like it here. I like the people. I like the teammates that I'm around. It's kind of where I don't want to say it's where my career started. But as a starter, this is where it was. These players, these teammates, I wouldn't trade them for the world. I love these guys. Yeah, all right, Jimmy. So, Acho, should Jimmy G want out of San Francisco?
Yes, sir. Jimmy G should want out primarily because they're using him. And in the NFL, you always get used, but try to use them while they use you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
We always
right?
getting used, though.
Everybody getting used. Personalizing the story.
Yeah.
I was just a little practice squad player, so they could only use me so much. Or I was like 50 person on the roster. And people don't realize the NFL pays for your graduate school programming. So I was like, oh, while y'all using me, I'm going to use y'all because y'all will pay for me to go get my master's degree. They going to use you. Use them. Jimmy G, they're using you. Because on April 26th, your head coach, he didn't even guarantee that they were going to draft a quarterback. We figured they would, but remember, he said, I can't guarantee anybody in the world will be alive on draft day. That would have been that Sunday. Then after the draft, May 3rd, he said, your head coach, Jimmy's definitely our starter right now. Then, just a couple days ago, August 9th, I think they'll trust us to make the decision whether it's permanent for one game, a series, or just a situation in regards to using the 2 quarterbacks. So, Jimmy, it started with they might not draft somebody at your position. Then a week later, you're our starter right now. Then 2 months later, we might rotate. Bruh, in a couple days, weeks, or months, you're going to be on the bench. Just look at the trajectory of you playing. And so, Jimmy G, get out of San Fran while you still can on your own terms. I think he should get out of there because they're using him and it's blatantly obvious.
Oh, I disagree with that take. Just because I think Jimmy G is playing it the right way. We even said it in the setup. He's being a pro about it. Think about when you take the lumps in any situation of adversity and you withstand all the criticism so you don't cave to it, you don't lower your standards, you don't all of a sudden start punching down, you just hold your ground. You just stand strong. And that's what Jimmy G is doing. Because there's only 2 things Jimmy G cares about: playing football and getting what comes from playing football. So right now, they're still giving him that same opportunity, even though he knows the writing's on the wall. Kudos to Jimmy G for not reading the writing on the wall. And I'm noticing that a lot in this world today. This self-implosion. People like this to use their power by saying, a situation's looking bad, it's looking grim, it's looking ugly. You know what I'm gonna do? Blow it up because I wanna act like I ain't care in the first place. Or I want to act like I'm dictating terms. I'm going out on my terms. Yeah, right. Jimmy G is a G for doing it this way. They may want you gone, Acho, from any situation. This show or any party, anywhere you go, somebody may be thinking, I want him out of here. But that doesn't mean you got to go. That doesn't mean you should want to go. If you want to be there, why not be there? There's going to be rewards at the end of this journey for Jimmy G. He just has to stay strong through this adversity that's coming his way right now. Who hasn't been in a situation where either you've been the backup about to go and take that starter's position, or been a starter and all of a sudden they tap you on the shoulder, yeah, we doing some rotation. But you can't spaz. You can't all of a sudden blow up the spot because you upset that somebody's going to come take your job, whether they deserve it or not. So salute to Jimmy G. Get your money, get your opportunity. It will flame out. But then when you land at the next place, I can see it now in the reception of Jimmy G. Man, that's a pro's pro. That's a leader because he ain't go over there and blow up the spot.
So I was wrestling and debating with something today, this morning before the show, because there's a lot of different Twitter beefs and Twitter feuds that go on in the world, a lot of different Twitter arguments.
Twitter streets.
And I was like, you can win a Twitter fight and have a ton of Twitter support and still not get paid. Right? Like, don't be deceived that having Twitter support don't necessarily translate or correlate into real life support or a real life paycheck. In the same breath, I've realized in the league, being a pro's pro don't get you paid. And you ain't got to look far to realize that. Jalen Ramsey wasn't a pro's pro.
Yeah.
Signed the biggest contract of a cornerback.
Oh, yeah.
Earl Thomas wasn't a pros pro.
Yeah.
At the time, signed the biggest contract of a quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott, we know for certain he was not a pros pro. At the time, signed the biggest contract of a running back. I would actually push back on you and say, you get more of what you want by not being a pros pro.
Let's do
Look
this.
at James Harden. He sure as heck was not a pros pro. He got what he wanted. Kevin Durant in OKC wasn't a pros pro. Got up out of there and got what he wanted. Far too often we see pros silently suffering. Xavier Howard, cornerback for the Miami Dolphins. He wasn't a pros pro. He took to Twitter to vent and air out his grievances with the Dolphins. He got what he wanted. In all honesty, the days of being a pros pro and a company man and a policy man and eventually it all work out, big dog, I actually, unfortunately, because I'd prefer to just be a pros pro, I don't think that works no more. I think you gotta shake the room. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying. No, let me tell you.
You know what I'm saying? You don't agree with what I'm saying.
No, I don't agree because, no, you're right. Here's the problem. When are you looking? Your thing is you're looking at that same player in his prime. He could do no wrong. Dog, I used to go out, DJ, party, get sacks. No one said a thing to me. Them sacks started to decrease. They started to say more to me. Here's the problem. You're looking at them in their prime. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey going to get paid. All these dudes going to get paid. But when it's not the prime, it's the end of time, that's when you start to lose the opportunities you could have had. I give you an example. Ain't no damn way in the world AB should have been in the situation AB put himself in. But you know what happens? You start using up those 9 lives in your prime, so when it's closer to the end of time, all of a sudden you're in a position where you're looking for work. I give you another one close to my heart. T.O. Ain't no way T.O. should have not had another opportunity. But by perception, people looked at T.O. as like, you used up your 9 lives. Jalen Ramsey ain't going to deal with this right now.
But has Jimmy used up any of his lives?
No, and that's the beauty.
But you got some. Think about this.
Hold on. That's the beauty. If you don't use up any of them and you still in your prime, boy, you can play. You're going to be one of them clipboard dudes making $20 million and you ain't even know he in the league.
But here is the problem, and it's the same problem that bad head coaches like Mike McCarthy make during the course of the season. You go home with a timeout.
Like
Go back home with a timeout.
How?
Don't retire having not used up a bullet. Jimmy G,
What
big dog.
bullet does he need to use up?
He is yet to cause a ruckus anyway.
Yeah, but what?
Patriots trade him. Oh, you gonna be the starter over Tom Brady? Psych, you not. Go to San Fran.
Yeah.
Now you in San Fran. Now they do all the. You haven't done anything
Hold on,
wrong.
and he became the highest paid player in NFL history after 7 games. You want to use a bullet to do what? Nobody has done what Jimmy G has done. He had the worst resume with the most returns ever.
We got to stop
Come
talking.
on, bro.
We have to stop talking about Jimmy G as the highest paid. He was making $25 million a year.
28.
The highest, 28. Highest paid now is making 40.
Yeah, but
so
I'm talking about
they're
at the
making
time.
30% more money than you, Jimmy G. Like, that was cute. You were the highest paid.
Wait a minute.
But, like, you ain't no more, big dog.
What is hold on. We can't keep moving the goalposts and timeline. Jimmy G he did this much. He was a backup. He played 2 games. They said you got to play 4. He got hurt in 2 of them. Listen to this. This is the best thing ever. He's supposed to play 4 games, only played 2. Gets traded to another team. They can't win games. He goes in there and wins the last 5. They make it more than any NFL player has ever gotten paid to that moment. You're going to use a bullet to do what? Now he's in a position where the writing's on the wall. You can't fight this organization. They're going to do what they want to do. They're in lock and step, GM and head coach. Who are you going to shoot at? The best thing to do is pack your bags, grab your life raft, go out there. You're going to land somewhere else. And when you land there, you'll get an opportunity. I always tell you, I got a paid vacation for my last 2 years in Jacksonville because I was a pros pro. I didn't use up my bullets. Now, people don't look at that as a benefit, but I look at guys who are way better than me at